All right, guys, so we are back with Tim Tate. He is a licensed counselor who is dedicated to helping people improve their lives, mind, body, and spirit. You practice holistic medicine and activities. So talk to us about this. What are we looking at here?
So this model is what I use in sessions to help clients identify the things that they can do for themselves every day to achieve balance. So balance is achieved by doing something every day for your mind, doing something every day for your body, and doing something every day for your spirit. So I'm not asking people to do anything extra. It's just doing some things different. Because if you want to feel different, that means you either have to think different or you have to do something different.
Exactly.
So this part is the cognitive triangle, and cognitive behavioral therapy, which is another model that I use, assumes that if you want to change the way that you feel, then you work on your cognitions and your behaviors, which is your thoughts and your actions. Because nothing out here is really making you feel anything. If you're feeling something from the inside, it's either how you're thinking about something or what you're doing about something. So we talk in sessions about how you can maybe think different about something that's happening, or what you can do different about something that's happening, because that's how you're going to feel different.
Okay. So give me an example. Say I am a mother who is overwhelmed, my kids are crazy, my husband's working all the time, I'm just on overdrive and I can't find a moment to center myself. How can I change my thoughts or actions to fix that?
So I'm always going to ask, what are you doing about that? And potentially what could you be doing different? And back to what we're talking about today is always asking for help. Who can you ask for help? And people who you ask for help are always friends, family, neighbors. It's important that we identify who our support systems are, so we know when we need them we can reach out to them. We're not going to wait till something happens. We're already going to know who they are, so we identify the support systems. And then of course, just how are you thinking about the situation that you're in. So often we focus on what's going wrong. So something that I get to do with people that I like to do is help people focus on what's right. And because a lot of times if we're focused on what's wrong, if we're thinking what's wrong, your body is going to get the signal that there's something wrong. And then your body is going to start building up pressure to do something about it. And that pressure is what we call anxiety. And then a lot of people, if they feel that pressure, what do? Well, a lot of times people don't do anything, or they do things that aren't good for them. And that can make things worse. So we always want to have some way to release that pressure. So we talk about things that people can do, like exercise, like talk to somebody.
Body, exercise.
Body, yeah. So
mind.
So the mind, so the three things that we want to do every day for the mind, we somehow want to communicate somehow, some way with somebody. And also pay attention to how we're communicating with ourselves, because a lot of times, what's going on in here is we're our own worst enemy, and it's how can we become our own best friend in a situation. How can we educate ourselves, how we can learn more about what's happening. And then of course, some mindful meditation. That's something else that I do with clients. For the body, every day we focus on exercise, nutrition, and sleep. And sleep goes down here on the bottom, because if you don't have sleep, the right amount of sleep, everything up here just kind of crumbles. So we always want to focus on getting 8 hours. And we say 8 hours because it's the average. We want to get more than 7 and less than 9. That's why we say 8.
Okay.
It's the average. And then for spirit, so spirit is that animating force in all of us that gives us energy and life and power. So how do we get that energy? Well, we connect every day, somehow, some way, with relationship to ourselves, our higher selves, that part of us that always knows the right thing to do. But a lot of times we go with the lower self, and then at the end of the day we're wishing that we wouldn't have. But if we give in to our higher self and do what we know we need to do, we're so glad that we did. And then of course, relationship with other people, somehow, some way, communicate, help, be supported by others. And then whatever your higher power is, somehow practice your relationship with that every day.
Gratitude,
express gratitude.
Count your blessings.
So gratitude is big, because That's a practice in what's right. So often, like we said, we're focused on what's wrong. So what we want to do in hacking the brain for happiness is every day pay attention to how we're thinking. Instead of focusing on what's wrong, how can we focus on what's right? And the way to do that is gratitude. But we can take it to the next level by either sharing that gratitude with somebody or writing it down.
Okay.
So that makes you twice as grateful, right?
Okay, and I think you have a way to help us. You brought us a little
I brought you guys something. So this is something that I do for myself, and I wouldn't ask you to do anything that I don't do personally. So here are some gratitude journals that I want to give to you guys.
Thank
so
you.
So
every day you're going to write something.
What am I
There's
grateful
one for
for?
Jocelyn.
Yes,
and
thank
also
you so much.
one for Monica.
So wait, there's nothing in this book.
Yeah, well, you have to take off
You
the plastic.
fill it up.
Yeah.
Oh, I write the book.
With things that you're
And I
grateful
write the book
for.
on the things I'm grateful for.
Yeah, so every day, so the instructions are every day, write something, one thing that you're grateful for. Some days you might have 2 or 3 things. But the catch is it has to be something different.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
it'd
not
be-
every day like I'm grateful that I woke up. or
Yeah,
I have a bed to sleep
or
in.
my car, or my job, or
Well, once you start counting those
Yeah.
things, and I mean, not even just one thing, but if you can make it a point to get to like 5 or 10 and challenge yourself, you start writing down things that have become so irrelevant, and you don't realize that they are accomplishments and they are things to be grateful for. So I do have something similar to this in my calendar, and it forces me at the end of the month to write down 10 things I accomplished.
Right.
And sometimes it's like, oh, I booked a gig, or I,
Yeah.
did this for my wedding. But it's still an accomplishment. And once
Yeah.
you see that list, you're like, hey,
Right.
I'm not doing so bad.
Right.
So thank you so much,
You're
Tim.
welcome.
We look forward to having you back on the show. Unfortunately,
you
we're out of
so
time
much.
for this part, but we appreciate you and we express our gratitude to you for joining us today. So don't forget to
let
take
me write
care
that one down.
of your mind, your body, and your spirit.
I'm grateful to meet
and
you.
we're
Me
so
too,
grateful,
man.
Tim. And
Thank
we'll
you.
have this segment for you later online so you can follow up and re-listen to everything we talked about today on the show. Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you,
You're
Melissa.
amazing. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. It's Coastal Living. We'll be right back.
You're watching Coastal Living on KZTV, the only lifestyle show made in the Coastal Bend for the Coastal Bend.
Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.